Okay, so crazy times. Not crazy times, but crazy energy. Like a lot of awakenings from people that around me that are resisting. And I'm feeling the
Mm.
resistance and that frustration of not turning it towards me thinking it's me, but just the feeling of like, I don't know, sometimes I think that we're here um as a guidepost to assist others on the path. And I'm comfortable in that position of communicating with people in a certain way where you're sacrificing yourself, but you're offering some insight into somebody else's life. And to see somebody struggle, but then be reminded yourself of your own struggles of a human being on this earth is such a taxing and awakening moment to say, yeah, I'm not perfect. And all the people, and especially yourself who have so many people around you to reflect and to have as mirrors for yourself. Very interesting. And 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 I
Yeah,
and yeah,
hard to get away from yourself.
yeah, you can't get away from yourself. And I find it very powerful over the last few months of being reminded of that, whether it be writing
Yeah.
or or being around the people around me and feeling that very profoundly. And what about you? Or
Well, you keep looking for the escape room,
it's
and
true.
you want to escape, and but you already know this escape because most people have been through that stage already.
Yeah.
But the reason you're feeling that escape feeling is because it's being reflected onto us.
Yeah.
So when something's being reflected back onto you, you go through the whole thing again, and then you realize I it's like an old friend. You go, mm-mm, I've met you before. It's
Yes.
okay.
Right.
I'm not gonna play this game with you. Because I didn't like it last time, or I dealt with it last time, or whatever however you wanna deal with this old friend. But the old friend isn't the other person. The old friend is the feeling.
Yeah, that's
Because
interesting.
it's a memory. It's not even them. It's not you. It's not them. Uh, it's like a it's like a time stamp comes back to you. That sense comes
Right,
back to
right,
you
right.
to say, do you need this? It's like it really is actually a gift. I'm actually saying these words for myself, Adam, because I need to hear it. Because I'm everything you just said was it's it is this, and so these feelings come back as a sense, and it's an opportunity to go pat on the back. You went through all this,
Yeah.
or do you want to play? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this dance again? And a lot of us, um, because you don't want to do the dance again, it looks like you don't care,
Right, right, right,
or you don't have because you're not getting absorbed by it all.
right.
So now
Yes.
you're the witness.
Yeah,
And now we have to get comfortable with that feeling
that's
or that
true.
timestamp.
Yeah, but
So now you've got the old timestamp and the new one, and you've got to be comfortable with both of them. And that's probably where most of us in this realm now are, is yeah, just
yeah, wavering back and
keep
forth.
tiptoeing.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I opened up my Akashic records before earlier, and I was trying to get some information or like images that came through, and certain words that came through, and one of the words was harmony. One of the words was harmony, and harvest, solitude. Uh, what else? Resonance, and then I saw. a spiral of being in the middle of a spiral around me, either as a protection or as a cyclical pattern of repeating again the next cycle of things to come. And I was in the middle of that, or it was just maybe a protection I felt of circular things protecting me, being in the middle of it.
So what were they? Harmony, harvest, and then what was
Harmony,
the last one?
harvest, solitude, solitude, resonance, um, opening, holding on, holding on, and rings, being in the center of the rings around.
Oh, harmony is a big one. Harmony and harvest is a big one because it's calling in the mother energy, which is space, basically, or the dark. So, yeah, it's like when the lights are off and you're in the dark, there's, you can't see anything, you can't really feel anything, and you don't know if something's close or near, so you could knock your head.
Yeah,
And so you're you're in a complete, you're in satisfy, you're in a complete moment because you don't know whether it's near or far. You don't know whether it's up or down, but you still have to move through it. And a harmony is literally connected to money, and this is a big one. That
harmony. Yeah,
yeah, it's her money, which
harmony.
is not her. It's her, him, same thing, right?
Right, right.
Her money, and so what are they doing to us at the moment? Causing mass financial upheaval
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere.
Right,
If they're not causing it in the finances or businesses, they'll cause it through weather. So they'll disrupt your home, they'll affect your insurance, all this. So everyone's devaluing.
right,
And it's not you're devaluing you, but this is what a lot of people feel with money. And this is a big one to money in the spiritual world, which we found has been a big, it's almost like the final thread of ascension. It's like you have to let go of that one as well. That's like part of it.
right, right, right,
Mm. And if you haven't let go of it fully, it keeps coming up for you. So until things become at ease for you, you'll realize that you still have to address issues in the money side of things, in not in a material sense, but in a spiritual sense, because it comes back to your worth, abundance, lack. Um, I'm not good enough.
right, right,
I don't have enough. I don't have enough followers. All this sort of stuff. It's this control of us has been kept in the bloodlines deliberately with harmony or harmony.
Wow, wow, that's interesting. I just wanted to interrupt what
Yeah.
you something because it just came to my mind. So when you said that, the first thing that came to my mind is how the attachments then cause us to grasp external, to seek that security from the outside, and how every lesson really teaches us to just rely upon our inner self and go inward, and then to use ourselves as that foundation. And and that's obviously those stages of resistance where we're holding on to the not material things because obviously we have an experience here, but to overindulge in the things that keep us connected and remove us from our inner self. And so many temptations of being on the earthly existence, of seeing people, myself included, but others around, and recognizing the fact, do I really need that? Will that give me satisfaction will that give me that feeling of feeling better about myself? People go shopping and they need that sensation of something to distract them or whatever it may be. But that harmony is profound or very interesting, that breakdown of it, the energy of ourselves.
You
Our,
said we have to use ourselves. So we have to use use, which is if I take it back to the origin words, to use is to use the E's of us or the M's. And the E's and the M's is asking us to come back to the sense of us, which is money, sense. See how they've manipulated see, the beings in us that know this have done this in other ways, very similar before. So they know this game.
right,
They knew it was coming to this. They know it comes to this point too. They're prepared. They're, it's, I mean, this is the biggest one that many are going to fight in themselves because they don't want to know that it was inside them the whole time,
right, right,
who
right,
they've been against and who they're angry at. But it has. And this is, again, you have to use that. You have to use that and get over it quickly with
right,
all
right,
these solar flares because it's going to, the feeling of it will want you to use it again really quickly. So you'll have another solar flare and it's saying, use it again. You're not listening. Wakey, wakey, Elsa.
right, right, right,
We're gonna we're gonna give you an eclipse. Bang. And you just use it again. Are you using it? Are you using it? Or are you looking to the other use? You can't go and use someone else's use or
right,
ease.
right, right,
You
right.
can only use your own. It sounds so silly. It sounds so simple, but it is complicated for your emotional system, the journey of it. So the simplicity of it makes you want to degrade it.
Yeah, that's right. Right, that's true.
It's
Well,
it's a weird topic. I haven't addressed this with anyone like this before, but basically we're actually coming to the ores of ourselves. We're actually coming right back down to literally one tiniest piece of grain of us where we started. You have to go back to that
right,
and
right.
then work from all that. And what do you need from that one piece of starseed that started me? That's where we're going back to. And this is where the harmony is because that starseed didn't need all these distractions to get here. It just did. It just knew. And that's us.
Right.
It's innate in us.
We all come to this existence with a story, and the story, and we look to play a certain role and to be a certain character that makes it either easy for us, it gives us the most attention, or maybe not, however it may be, whoever the person is. And like, for example, myself, in writing certain instances in chapters of my book, I revert back to childhood, like where I lost myself and where I found myself. And every time I lost myself was trying to be outside of myself. And every time that I gained myself or found myself was when I looked within. But you can't look within at a certain age because you have no concept of that unless you're more evolved. And many people are right now more evolved than they were my generation, with the distractions and, as you mentioned, all the different things that we're hooked into that keep us from ourselves. So for me, going back, I got to see how I played the victim in circumstances that I wasn't suitable. I couldn't find myself. I wanted to protect my ego. and I didn't want to feel like it was my responsibility. So the blaming, the egocentric attitude, and now bringing myself back to sheep's milk cheese, you know, as the use, as you mentioned, and having this desire to, I don't know what it is. I have a craving for sheep's milk, sheep's cheese, craving, and I have allergies to it. I have an allergy to cheese, but I've been able to eat it, and now it's too much. But I don't know what there's something that I'm craving, um, and yeah, it's like it's an interesting thing to like now revert back to something, but to see your role in it and being tested, as you mentioned, that thread of our holding on to something. Yeah.
So it's interesting also now eating different. Now you've, excuse me. So now you're eating and craving the intelligence of another.
Oh,
So you're needing to embody this. And people say sheep are stupid, but I study them in the paddocks now because they're so close to our farm, and they have such humility. Like our dogs, this sheep came into our paddock, and our dogs are barking at it, would run up and charge this sheep and bark at it. And because this sheep has known our dogs for a few years and knew that it couldn't fight our dogs, it just stood there and stared at the other, at our dog.
right.
And our dog didn't attack it. Our
Since
dogs aren't attack dogs. They're not trained. But the sheep just went, well, you could take me out.
right, right,
I'm just going to watch you. I'm just going to watch you, which completely spun our dogs out
right, right, right,
because they wanted the sheep to get jolted and bolt.
right.
But the sheep was like, I really like this grass here. I'm just going to stay here and eat this grass. But if you want to bark at me, it's okay. I'll just watch you. So I'm watching my dog flip out because
That's
it's not
interesting.
working. Doesn't matter how loud you bark at this sheep. He's okay with your barking.
That,
And
that's excellent. Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, wow, he's a really smart sheep. He's really smart. He's gentle, he's kind, but he's continually eating what he needs as well. He's completing his needs and watching the show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But in a sense of surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, he could be taken out. Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah.
knows that. He knows
Match.
he's no challenge for a dog. Yeah. So he's got no defenses except to bolt. But he knows that bolting's unnecessary. He doesn't need to bolt now. He doesn't need to run. And I guess this is you having the sheep milk is you're collecting their intelligence in a different form, and then you'll go off it again,
Yeah. But it's also
and then you'll eat this.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, no, I was going to say it's also the lack of desire to interact in a game and and
Yeah,
to
well,
and
this
to
is the
and
Celestine prophecy. Yeah.
and not to be drawn into the game of life and the people around us that drag us into the game because they're unable to then look within themselves and want to keep us external to ourselves. Going in reminds people of their own pains. Going in reminds them of their past. And so many times people are scared completely to be around someone who's working and evolving on their own stuff. And then it forces them to look within, and that's a big energy bomb that creates a lot of tension. I've experienced that in many relationships. I've experienced that in my life. I would say at this point. But what it's taught me to do is to be authentic and to be strong within myself. And as you mentioned, it's actually brought me back to going down the rabbit hole of myself. of going to the past my inner child and now coming out at the other side into the universe and making that connection with what's above. I think that's the path. I think, I think I've heard you mention on different interviews and you've spoken about it all is within ourselves with regards to our connections to galactic beings or other types of, it's returning to within. And I feel that now going down the childhood. And what else is there left if you're an adult and you've made peace with your inner child, or at least attempted to? Then you make peace with the rest of the world because you're in harmony. Oh, harmony. Here we go. That's where the harmony maybe comes in. Yeah.
You see, yeah. So the answers are there, just
Wow. That was,
sitting there, waiting. Like it's
yeah, that
literally
did.
sitting there waiting on the shore,
Right.
sitting there waiting on the shore,
On the cusp. Or, yeah.
on the on the shore. So it comes through memory of the water to shore you, to ground you, to land you. Yeah. I know, it's so cute, right? So this process of going down the rabbit hole or the Alice in Wonderland,
Yes.
because this is what she's doing.
Yeah.
It's Toot's Unk. It's the Unk. The mirror goes down his esophagus. This is what they do. You see them in the hieroglyphs. They go like this. Is that they're doing? This is where Alice in Wonderland came from. The Egyptians.
Wow, wow,
The
wow.
the the yeah. So the Ankh is a mirror of yourself, seeing they're saying to you. Go see what's inside. Who's running your ship?
Wow. Yeah, that's
Then
profound.
they hold the medicine bag, and they say balance the beings inside you, so that the true starseed can run the ship. And the other beings inside you, they will assist you. They'll keep doing this to you. But if the true starseed is not running the ship, it becomes a complete override. And this is when you see the narcissist. And people say to me, oh, they're a narcissist. They're never going to change. And there's those ones that don't. But a narcissist is where the host has been taken over. You obviously cannot tell a narcissist this, so
Yes, yes.
you'll be in a continual debate. So, and sometimes you see the narcissist, present up in you, in yourself. You go, oh, where'd that come from? Why am I saying those words? Why am I behaving this way? And you'll go, oh, I'm out of whack. I'm out of balance. So then you know the disciplines of the ship. You need to have the oils and the salts and the minerals and the rest, so you can rest to reset, so that you become shored. Assured,
Yeah,
shored.
assured.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other word this is called, which comes back to the dog prophecy that I go on a lot about, is it's to be beached, which is bitch, the word bitch,
Right,
female
right.
dog. Mm. And um, this sounds like a horrible word, but if you see how a pack of dogs work, the you'll have the alpha dog, but you really don't want to be bitten by the female dog. And she doesn't hold a grudge, but she will, if you annoy her too much, she'll turn around and she'll bite you. And then that's it. That's as far as it goes. Yeah. Don't annoy me, bite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she knows, she's sure of herself. She's sure of how much she'll put up with the puppies or the male dogs or the young dogs, and then she'll play because she's shored. She's beach.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to just touch upon the subject of not narcissism, but to me, I think the narcissist is the greatest teacher for ourselves personally to love ourselves. If we're on a path to not loving ourselves or going on that path inward to take ownership, not to say that we have to have a narcissist in our lives in order to love ourselves, but if we're too giving and too naive and in wonder with the world, I think in many cases the inner strength of a person is then challenged by that individual or that energy. And it's such a debilitating, handcuffed feeling to be in that bonds or that grasp of something like that. And I've experienced that energy myself. But it's taught me to, again, okay, we came here for a purpose. Now, what's your purpose? Your purpose is to, in many ways, fulfill your creativity, your open heart, but it's also for you to love yourself and going in Alice in Wonderland into that world. Um, Not being afraid to open your mouth and looking at your tonsils and your epiglottis or seeing what's inside the darkness. Um, I guess that's a metaphor of her opening of the mouth being opened anyhow, of traveling into a dark place and not being fearful of something. But it's to me is it's not a challenge, nor do I desire to have any interaction with that energy. But when I see it around other people who are interacting and still stuck in the act of engagement without recognizing that a complete boundary is necessary in order for it to pull you back to yourself and say, I'm the one that needs that, not the other person. And I think they rub your face in the ground to make sure you get that. And that's a teacher. Because no, I don't think many people would learn without it. Not to say again that you have to be in that kind of interaction to learn, but I think it's challenging but
Yeah,
necessary.
it is necessary, and narcissists present at a certain stage of your ascension because depending on where people are, different narcissist levels will show up for you for your training.
That's a good one. Training.
I'm gonna say it's just training because
That's great.
narcissist is basically it is a cyst. It's telling you you're out of whack. It has a cyst, and it's either a tar cyst or the narrative is changed. The cyst that this same word or the frequency. So either way you look at it, it has the same end result. It's an acting out of the ship because it's not being run by the origins, the ore genes.
Wow.
It's not being run by the starseed. It's not being run by the innate or the native or the naive. All the same word again. So what? Yeah, it's a lot of letting go. It's a lot of humility. It's a lot of uh, being okay with being like that sheep, using the use of you and going, I am okay. If you want to bark at me, that's fine. Um, I'm going to, if I have to watch you, I will not be involved, but I'll see what presents because maybe I'm supposed to learn something, or maybe I'm just supposed to gently walk away. It doesn't matter. You know what the sheep do when they're looking at the Dalmatians? You can see them, they stop and then they make eye contact with the animal, the dog. They don't stare at it too long because they don't want to entangle. You can see them.
Yeah.
So they really know, they know their sheep, right? So they know their sheep.
Shit. Yeah.
Anyway, so this one sheep I was watching, and it was a female, and she was looking at our dogs, and both of them are coming at her, and I'm going, "Wow, you are really either like you would look at the sheep going, either you're really stupid or really intelligent," and intelligence was what I got. And then she started chewing the cud, and a cud is a regurgitation, and to chew cud is to see the two, to see the two of use. So she's seeing the two. She's seeing herself. She's seeing her masculine and feminine, and she's also seeing it in the other. And so she's digesting it. When a horse processes a thought, so when you're giving horse training in natural horsemanship, um, they will you give them space, so you'll teach them the request, and then they will chew. And this is the confirmation that, to a human that they're
Processing.
processing it. Yeah,
Wow.
this is part of natural horsemanship. You wait for the chew. So once they've chewed, then you go on to the next stage of it. So the kids will say, "Hang on a second, they haven't licked their lips yet." You actually wait for the cud, even though horses don't chew cud, but they still do the like this. They do this.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is a body language thing in humans too, like,
Well, I wanted to just say like the subtleties of waiting, like you do, like you're actually existing and taking in the environment and and using it as a map for your for that you're able to present in the way you're doing, and that's like profound. And I know as a teacher, the act of waiting for not a command, but a behavioral change or shift or a recognition of a child's body language, responding towards something that a person in authority or a person as a teacher, a person just, you know, speaking to a child, you could see the body language shift, the ease that takes over. And that ease then is the comforting part that they've got it, that they trust. I guess that you have to wait for the trusting process, the process of a response, because otherwise people and parents sometimes override because they're in such a high gear, a high state of not giving eye contact, not even viewing what they're asking for in return, just spitting stuff out, just like the sheep that stood there and waited and gave space to the other dog, and the dog had no challenge. And that's perfect. That's a perfect way to interact, I find, with challenging people and challenging situations. It's and the hard part is people are afraid to submit because by submitting they feel they're in a weakened state or weakened position. And it's true. You do challenge yourself and say that. But after a while you see, wow, you get to see the game of life and how people play. And it's a play. But the horse waiting for that response was similar to telling a child, please stay there and please stay on the line or please don't go out the door, and like waiting 4 or 5 seconds for his energy to say, I got it. Like a sigh, as
yeah.
opposed,
What's this? Well, some with the humans, with natural horsemanship, uh, they've only got 1 hour to do the natural horsemanship, which I think is so funny because the horse goes, "That's really cute." You can't work this way with natural horsemanship training. Because you could go quite a few hours waiting for
yeah,
the chew.
the response.
Generally, but if the horse has a lot of trauma, or if it was a
Right,
racehorse, or it was beaten, or something happened as a foal, it's got to unpack this.
right.
So you might not get that response for a long time, but the human's only got an hour to do natural horsemanship lesson. So
Yeah,
I laugh. I always laugh because I go, that's so funny. Because if you think you're going to get this, you're better off working around sunsets than the whole time thing. And this is what the sense is. Uh, they're like, well, I've only got 2 hours, or I've only got this lunch with you. So everything's on this timetable to
yeah,
distract you from your understanding of yourself. So when you come back to what do you really need? What do I need to do? Do I need to do that today? Your needs fall away, and you begin to have more space in your day to do what I like you said, to watch your day.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, even these words, watch your day. Like I, I, I do watch my day. It's so weird. I do. To me, it's just like this little movie going on and this little movie going on
Yeah.
and this little, and in that, then there's the micro movies, you know, all the or then you got the little mini series all the way through. And I go, wow. And then I'll hear a lot of people say to me, including in my family, you're making it up. Well, I guess I am, but it just happened before me, so I
Yeah.
didn't make that thing happen. It's happening before me as a gift, and I'm sorry if that annoys you. I'm sorry if you don't see the gift in it or the story in it, but I'm getting great stuff out of this. So I don't care whether you don't get the story or not because
Yeah.
I'm going to use it. I'm here to use it. And this is what you said. I'm here to use it. I'm here to use it. I'm here to use the ease of me. I'm here to use it this way, this way, this way, this way.
Yeah.
Comes a gate, a compass of us. And um, what a topic you started this one with. Wow, this one's huge.
Yeah.
This is huge
It's
because you're
expansive.
talking about, whoa, well, you're talking about creation. So our daughters have hair down to their backside. They've got blonde hair all the way down, and they brush their hair. And one daughter comments on how much hair she loses compared to the other daughter. And I said, every time you're brushing your hair, you're you're creating Gaia. And they went, what? I said, every time your hair falls out or a cell falls off, you're creating Gaia. And they went, that's disgusting. I said, well, to you it is, but to Gaia, she's excited because she's growing. As she's growing, every bit that falls off you onto the ground becomes.
Yeah.
And this is what these meteors and asteroids are doing. They're coming past, dropping this one tiny little seed on us. And some of us will resonate with the seed, some of it will be foreign. And it's creating new yous in us.
Yeah.
And this is why you have to get on top of it before the next batch comes through, which is
Collect.
Easter, by the way. Yeah, you have to collect yourself.
Yeah. I thought I wrote
You
collect.
have to reset yourself. Yeah. You have to do these words that you said. You have to be in harmony with it. Then you have to harvest it. And you got to sit in solitude with it. Actually, you've given us a map.
Yeah.
These words are in
Yeah.
order. So it goes. So you got to be in harmony with it. So because it's money coming down on you, it's abundance coming down.
Yeah.
Then you got to harvest it. So you got to sit and rest with it. Her rest. Then you got to be in solitude with it. Then you got to resonate with it. So now you're running with it. Now you're running the ship of it. Now you're spinning it. You got to be, then you got to be open to all the others who have had the same thing go on in them. So they've all evolved to being new yous. Then you got to hold on. What was the last one? Then you got to bring it out. So you got to tell.
Yes.
So
Yes.
then you got to ring, you got to be like a bell and resonate it. Yeah. Wow, you gave us a map. That's
Yeah.
a map, all those words. See, people don't think of things like this, but this to me, those words in that order is a gift, a big gift. Um, the ancient if I pull it apart, the ancient text of it is in ruins and hieroglyphs, and which is quite weird. But the other thing about it is that it's like a formula. It's a go. You could write those down,
Yeah.
and if you're having a flip out moment, you could go, which stage am I at?
Right.
So cute, right?
Well, yeah, but in
These
many,
words.
yeah, but in many ways, it's presented in some capacity when you're able to like to hear it and also then to decipher it or decipher it in your company for you to then reflect that back because otherwise it would have been just words, but then without a conversation over it or sharing, there would have been no completion in that process. So it's important for us to also
So we're
share. But but I wanted to say on the sharing aspect, which is the part of as being a witness towards the the people around us that we love and we care for, and the inability at times to be able to hold space in the company of a teaching moment of knowing better, but then having to have the patience to endure the rejection of something you know, and you know what's best because you've experienced it and have it in your mindset. And then to be able to endure the time of the lesson and the absorption or to be able to process that information. Like parenting. Parenting is one of the most difficult things when you're evolving as a parent or evolved because you've already charted the waters and now you know the dips and valleys and to see not ignorance but the 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 ego in action deflecting but taking it in like the memories of a child going on vacation. They don't appreciate the vacation when they're little. Well, they may, but then when years pass, they go back and they reflect upon everything that was taught to them or everything they saw. So the main thing as a parent or a person as a teacher is to teach and not be fearful of being rejected in the process of the teaching and to withstand the solitude and and that emptiness that sometimes comes along with, and that word solitude comes back into me, and maybe harmony then takes place. I could use it as an example for my children. So, and I might have mentioned this, and I'll say it again. Every year, my children, when I was on this path towards evolving and learning about healing and everything holistic and every different modality. Oh, you're weird. I can't talk to you. I don't want to speak to you. I don't want to know from you. And there was maybe a 2 or 3 year rejection where I didn't see them or hear from them. And I said, this is the most profound lesson for me to value the material and value my life and value what I know for the perfect moment to use it rather than to spitfire it out just to feel validated and to feel loved and recognized. And I think it's important for us to maintain that path because it's so easy to lose ourselves in a power of not authority, but I don't know why parental comes in, but parental figure, like to maintain that parenthood, which so easy is to step into the domain of not being the back here. But that's also the sheep and the dog and the sheep standing back too and not engaging the aggressive behavior.
wow. Well, I didn't even think of it, but it's the yous and the gods looking at themselves. So this story, wow, this story, I didn't even realize even saying the story to you. So I'm witnessing the mirror effect of the Ankh going down, not in me, in the dog and the
Yeah.
sheep. So, um, so these words you said, I'm going to practice. I'm going to give you feedback on this. This is good because this becomes a practice of healing. So I'm going to keep these words, and if someone is around me, I'll go, oh, one, which word are they? Where are they up to?
Yes,
Like the
that's good.
gauge, like a gauge.
Yes.
Yeah. And then with the gauge of it, I can go, oh, you're there and I'm on this one. Or, sometimes they'll be up, I'll be down on the, depends on how you write the words out, whether it goes this way or this way, it doesn't matter. You can see where you're at. Because I have a feeling they have to be in that order.
Yeah.
Because you can't go, I'm going to skip one. It just,
Right.
you can't skip. Yeah, you can't skip one of those
Well,
words that you said.
maybe that's why it showed I saw rings. So there was like levels. So the different levels. Yeah, right. The levels.
Well, you don't think of a spiral as a level, but a spiral is a pyramid, really. It's that's how you um, with a lot of animals, they don't walk in a straight line up the hill. They walk around it.
Right.
You'll
Well, I
see
don't know that,
goats
but
and horses.
I've seen like you could see like
Yeah, they walk behind because they know not to disturb all the grass, or elephants do the same. You'll see a lot of animals walk behind. The reason they do this, one is because they want to walk in the step uh, footprints of the ones before, which is beautiful, right?
wow,
But the other reason is not to damage the land.
wow.
So they create pathways of
That's
ease.
wow. They
Yeah, so
create the path for the ones before them as well, right? So that they
oh,
make it in
well,
place.
it's not so much on the prairies or the meadows because you'll see the herds come through.
Right.
It's when you go onto the higher grounds. See how it's just
Right.
metaphors, right?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
becomes like you said,
Yeah.
exactly like you said. Yeah.
Well, like the cars that drive up the mountains. The roads are not made on a straight line. They're made on a level, different levels of going up so that you can make it up. So you're really retracing the steps because when you're going this way, you're really seeing the path that you just went on to go back up to the next path. It's not a straight line where you'd have to turn around to see where you came from. You're reminded of your path to the left or to the right of you or in front of you. You could see it. So it's interesting. And 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 initially starting this off with that subject of children, they're the greatest teachers for us. They taught me so much about myself and seeing others around me now going through a certain similar path and so fearful of taking those steps to become independent, which is the greatest teacher for them to see that. Because I think when people are testing each other, they're really testing themselves, but want an example of how the other person responds to the test. So it's so interesting, especially
It's annoying
children.
but true.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
children are testing because they say, yeah, let's see you do it. And then when you do it, that's when you become the power position where conditions don't exist. Everything is unconditional.
Oh, well, for me, having eight, like what's funny is the littlest ones are cleverest. They always are
Yes.
because they've seen all the, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm also ready for it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
That's
Okay, I'm ready.
well, you have a
It's
full
quite a
classroom.
weird, yeah, but not of them, of me. It's of
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
because they're all always training me. So it's like, wow. But again, you come back to the list. Where am I on this list? Am I in harmony? Am I in opening mode? And then you could apply this to those same words. You could apply to the moon cycle as well, because the moon would be going through the same cycles. The ring would be probably either the ring would be the full moon, probably.
Completion or fullness. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
but
nice.
because you got the word harvest in there as well. Because we plant and work with the full moon. So, um, sorry, the dogs are barking at
I
something.
don't hear anything.
I can't hear. Okay. Yeah, so but these words would work with the moon cycle. And if you can work your life around the moon cycle, uh, for the higher highs and the lower lows of the tides, because this is when our bodies become full of water and less water, then this helps you understand your emotions as well.
Yeah,
Because when there's a full moon, yeah, you're more everything's fuller. The ba- you could go, even your imbalance can become fuller.
yeah. Well, that's true for me now because I'm congested. I've had more fluid, more water, and it's con nasal congestion. But I also recognize how it's so tied into emotions, the flow of emotions. I'm writing something that's very emotional, and I realize all of a sudden I'm flooded with fluid or feeling it heavy, more fluid here than normal. And I know planetary action is also creating more rising in sea levels. I know you had the issues in Australia, but for myself, I'm definitely feeling fluid, more fluid.
But, well, this image I sent you the other day, that's where it came through. It was coming, it's coming through here on you.
Yeah,
So it's coming in like the bulls, Taurus or Aries. It's coming in
or
here and
Odin's.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah, this t-shirt was oh, I knew instantly it was nasal here for you.
yeah. Wow, wow.
So so you'll be letting go of the mucus, but also you'll keep getting it because it's intel. So this might end. So this was a warning, not a warning, but uh, a kind message that with the Easter ones coming about,
Right?
this could get more. So you're prepared, you understand, you eat the right foods, you're disciplined, and you're ready for it. You're ready. You're in harmony for your her money to come in.
That's good. I also keep life vests in my
Yeah.
side, in the bottom, in my mouth, so that I could float properly.
Yeah.
Life vests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is how, but it was interesting how it came through like a ring for you, but it's only half. It's half the arc
Right, right.
in this visual. Yeah.
That's true. That's excellent.
So, and you were wearing it too, this visual. So to me, it was in act. It was happening now.
Yeah, I felt that
Do,
way.
yeah.
Definitely I felt that way.
Yeah. So see how it was just a sign, it was a message, but I didn't dismiss it because it was calling out to me. I wasn't worried about your response. Um, I just send you the message, and if it resonates for you, which is one of your words, one, two, three, four, that's the fourth one, and you're open to it, you'll be able to hold on to it, and then you'll be able to ring it out.
Absolutely. That's so helpful.
Yeah, so see, but it's in your words.
Yeah, it's in my words. It's
It's
so interesting.
it's in the formula. See, this conversation that we're having, people will go, what are they on about? But basically, what we're doing is what's before us, we're using, like you said. We're spinning around our words, we're spinning around the moment that we have together, and we're using these gifts that have presented before us and going, okay, how can I use it from now?
Yeah.
And this is how you become a great creator. this is it. This is how we run from, this is how we will evolve from us now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, the image that you just brought up of what you said is like it was like when you go to the amusement parks and they have these things with these magnets that pick up like something, or like it's like almost like the information is floating above, waiting for the correct magnetic charge to be uplifted and pulled up, and and that's what we're doing.
well, the biggest message I've had this week is claw.
Yeah, that thing.
And yet,
Wow.
oh
Yes.
my God, I'm going to send you a picture because yesterday I was at the other farm and I was pulling off the debris off the fence line. And my arm here, my right arm, sorry, my right arm got scratched by the fencing, the barbed wire, the wire fencing, and it looks like three claws. So 2 or 3 days ago, we had 2 or 3 days ago we had a solar flare, and it was like a claw mark.
Wow.
And now I have the claw mark, and in Alice in Wonderland. This is what I said to another friend, Mila. I said to her, I was talking about the Bandersnatch because the Bandersnatch claws her free on her arm, which
Yeah.
is a spotted dog.
Wow.
The spotted dog is the ancient dog of Egypt. I'm going around in circles here. But the message of claw is the message of claw uh, takes us back to the essence of us, and it's to say law.
Wow.
So it takes us back to the ocean to be sure.
Wow. Like a Fallon, like the Fallon grasping the clawing.
Yeah, talons. Yeah,
Talons,
but
talons.
it's also it can be a crab. It's the curved claw,
Yeah. Well, I've been
which you could.
finding I walked I've been when I walk and I'm in deep conversation, only in deep conversation. I find feathers all over the place, but when I'm in deep conversation, giving some type of insightful download, I'll always find the hawk feather. And the hawk feather I found in conversation, just looking down at my feet. Whereas other days I'll be looking for it. Once you find it, you say, "Oh, there's got to be another feather out here." But those profound that lesson of whatever it's showing, grasping, clasping, holding on to something, to knowledge, but also raising the consciousness of others by maintaining that height above and bringing people to a higher level as opposed to sinking and staying at a level where you're below something. You want to be above it. Rise above. Rise above.
So finding the feather would be you're open to it. I'm loving these words. These are so cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 words. So 7 magic words. So when you find the feather, you're open to it. So you pick it up and you hold on to it,
Yeah.
and then you ring it.
Okay.
Yeah. Um. So the hawk or the way they blink is quite interesting. It's like well, this is good that I'm talking to you because you're a photographer, so it's like a camera.
Yeah.
So the pupil goes in and out like this, but
You shut
I
it.
think they blink this way and this way. So they have two sets.
I didn't know that. Wow.
So yeah, so it's like do you know how you can get your zoom lenses and they can have two sets? So they can
Yes.
have this
Yeah.
zoom and then you can go in tighter. Yeah. Well, then you have the lenses that can go in and out. Well, with the with the hawks and I think the eagles, they only have two, I think it's either far or near, and their eyes go like this.
Wow,
That's why
wow,
they class hawk like Taurus, because it's the way the sun and sunsets. Yeah,
wow.
so it's pretty cool. It's a pretty amazing because the reason that many cultures use animals as gods or explanations or stories is because we this is who we have evolved through as well.
Well,
So now I've got to use it. Yeah.
so interesting the animals that come up come our way through our path. Um, yeah. Okay, I have to pack it in. I have I have something else coming up, and once again, I want to thank you for you sharing your wisdom and your decipher. I don't know if that's the right word, deciphering of words and making things clearer, and being like the hawk and drawing the zoom lens in on the word as well, and then seeing it clearer and breaking it apart. So it helps me, it assists me, and I know it'll assist others as they go on the path of the things that we discussed today. And I think that was a great example of how you deciphered that example that I received. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah,
I enjoy our conversations a lot. So it
yeah.
it assists me and my family. So I appreciate you. Thank you.